Okay, so apparently a deal has been made between Canada and the United States. Or at least they're finalizing a deal. But anything could happen. I mean, my video could be outdated within a few hours. Who knows? And I'm recording this video Thursday evening, which will be Thursday morning for most of you. But it is a possibility that the United States alcohol, that crappy stuff, is going to be back on our shelves again. And the US liquor industry? I'm guaranteeing that they're probably thinking that Canadians are going to be running back to the liquor store to buy their stuff. But I think they're in for a surprise because I can show some sentiment from some Canadians and what they feel about the US alcohol coming back on the shelves. 3 out of the 4 Canadians that you see on the screen right now say they're not going to touch it. And the 1 out of 4? Yeah, I'll let you guess which person it's going to be. I would seriously hate to be stuck in an elevator with this person. I'll let you guess which one and I'll show you later. But if you need more motivation not to buy the liquor when it is back on the shelves, then I have the ultimate reminder on why we should be leaving the bottle on the rack. And that ultimate reminder is this guy, Chris Swonger, who is reminding Canadians that it's going to be a great opportunity to have the liquor back on the shelves. It might get a little bit spicy later, and there might be a few F-bombs, so I'm just giving everybody fair warning. So I'm going to show everybody his gaslighting interview later. And my daily thanks to everybody who is supporting my Substack page as well as my Buy Me a Coffee page. I have seen reports from people in the comments, and I have witnessed myself, but YouTube is putting ads back onto my channel. And you can see here, this is a video I did a few days ago with a Bitdefender ad on it. So what this means now is that instead of sharing the revenue with me, YouTube is taking 100% of it. So yeah, to clarify the question to a few people that I've seen in the comments, I'm not getting the revenue and my channel is still not monetized. It is what it is, I guess. But I do appreciate everybody continuing to support me and the work that I do, despite not being monetized. And I will continue as long as I have gas in the tank. So thanks again, everybody, for helping to keep this channel going. Alright, let's get into the first report out of, I think it's Toronto? Yeah, Toronto.
One of the key points for the American side is believed to be the return of U.S. alcohol to Canadian store shelves.
All but 2 provinces have pulled American alcohol. If a deal is reached, it's expected to return. But will Canadian consumers rush back to buying it? CTV's Mike Walker is live tonight with more. Mike.
Well, Andrea and Michelle, American distillers are hoping their products will soon return to store shelves, but most people we've been speaking with today tell us they don't plan on buying American alcohol if it becomes available again, and that's supported by a recent poll.
Now, I actually want to bring up something because I can't remember where I replied, whether it was on Discord or Blue Sky or in the YouTube comments. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I can't remember where I was replying to. But the person commented something along the lines of he's glad that the GTL community is not just an echo chamber. Which is why I love showing comments from people that are not following my channel. Whether it's on different subreddits or showing interviews from people who may not even know about my channel. Or even going even farther than that. Showing feedback from other areas in the world like Australia or Europe or New Zealand or South America. I want those watching my videos to know that, hey, it's not just our own little community here that feels and thinks like this. There's people out there, all over the place, millions of people, around the world, that have the same sentiment as us.
American alcohol might end up back on store shelves amid a tentative trade deal with the U.S., but many consumers say the ongoing trade war and its tariffs has left them with a bad taste.
We'll stick with Canadian products, thanks. We've changed our shopping habits and we're going to keep that up.
Others say they've adapted.
We found it no challenge really to move on from American red wines to Australian and South American red wines.
Now, I'm glad to hear that there are Canadians out there that are aware that, hey, the liquor's going to come back eventually. But even if it's on the shelves, they're not going to buy it. And they're going to stick with their new habits. For me, it's not that hard at all. I mean, I never really bought U.S. alcohol to begin with. I mean, I think the last bottle of U.S. alcohol I bought was Jack Daniels. And that was when I was underage. I hope my parents don't hear this.
American alcohol has been a bargaining chip in trade talks with boycotts in place in all but 2 provinces. The U.S. alcohol industry is hoping relations can return to normal.
We have lost 73% of our exports. Historically, the United States exports about $220 million worth of American spirits to Canada, and that's all but been shattered.
Here's my thoughts on that. I don't give a rat's ass if it's been shattered. And in fact, I actually hope it stays that way. Alright, enough of this guy. He gets his own dedicated segment later.
But acknowledges there's no guarantee that Canadians will buy U.S. booze again. In fact, if American alcohol returns to shelves, a recent poll from Nanos Research for CTV News found 74% of Canadians are unlikely to buy it.
I don't think that I'd go back to Kentucky bourbon. I'm quite happy with Crown Royal so long as they bottle it in Canada.
I like California wines, and I want Ford to put it back.
Did anyone guess that it was this person? Like I said, I would hate to be stuck in an elevator with her. I mean, can you imagine the stuff that comes out of her mouth? Anyways, not everybody is going to be on board, and I guess she's the 1 in 4 right now.
Marketing experts suggest dedicated consumers will rejoice not to cross-border shop for U.S.-made beer, wine, and spirits, but say it will take significant time for American brands to rebuild popularity in the Canadian marketplace.
Because people do develop habits, and those habits tend to have some degree of stability over time.
I don't think it's just about the habit. I mean, yeah, we get used to buying wines from Europe or South America or anywhere else. We're used to that now. But I think there's also another factor on top of it. At least for me, I am holding a grudge, and I'm going to hold that grudge for a very long time. And in the future, if I'm even slightly tempted to pick up a US bottle, all I have to do is think about the guy that's going to be in the interview in the next segment. So let me know in the comments below. Do you think it's just a habit that's going to keep the sales down? Or are you holding a grudge like me? I hope I'm not the only one.
Ontario cleared and boxed up American products from LCBO shelves in early March 2025 in retaliation to sweeping U.S. tariffs imposed on Canadian goods. Premier Doug Ford stated last week the ban could be lifted if there is a fair deal that protects Canadian industries.
Before anything happens, we protect our auto sector, our steel sector, our agricultural sector, our forestry sector.
Looking at the bigger picture, many consumers still leery.
I don't trust anything Trump says. I never have.
If this is in fact a done deal.
I don't know about anyone else, but Doug Ford saying that he's here for Canada, I'm kind of getting sick of it. Because I just saw a headline earlier before I started this video, that Doug Ford met with the CEO of Loblaws at his own home, one day after dismissing grocery pricing legislation. I haven't looked into this too much, but it seems a little bit hypocritical of Doug Ford. But back to the liquor thing. We have to be prepared that the liquor is going to be on the shelf soon. But I think we all know what to do. And if you're not sure what to do, just watch this interview, because I'm going to give you reasons on why you should leave that bottle on the rack. Now, just a heads up, I'm going to let this one run a little bit, more than I normally do, because it is quite a bit of a longer one, and I'm already more than halfway through my time.
Chris, good morning. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to know straight from you what it has meant for your industry not to be able to sell in Canada, or at least in most provinces.
Yeah, thank you. 73% of our exports, historically, the United States exports about $220 million worth of American spirits to Canada, and that's all but been shattered. So we're hopeful with President Trump's announcement and with this meeting that you just reported at 11 o'clock, that a deal is in the making to make sure to put American spirits back on the shelves. But just as importantly for our colleagues in Canada, we don't want a 50% tariff being applied on Canadian spirits that come into the United States. It would be devastating. The United States represents 93% of the Canadian spirits market, over 550 million every year historically.
Maybe it's my bias that I have against this guy, but it almost kind of sounds like a threat. Like he's warning that, hey, United States could put tariffs on Canadian liquor to the United States, but completely omitting the fact that it's his stupid country that put the tariffs on us first. And also the guy that he voted for. It's been on record in the past that he supports the Taco Tuesday administration. Yeah, this one's going to get a little bit spicy.
So we want to avoid the tariff on Canadian spirits, obviously. And of course, we want to get back on the shelves. We recognize the emotions in Canada are high because of the broader politics, but the American and Canadian spirits industries intertwine together, and we hope to get back to normal relations, at least for this great industry on both sides of the border.
Notice how he just said, at least this industry. He doesn't give a shit about any other industry. Only his industry. He doesn't care about the auto industry. He doesn't care about the steel or the lumber or the agriculture one either. Only his, the one that he self-proclaimed as distinct. I personally feel that the lumber industry, the steel, the automotive, and agriculture are all way more important than liquor on both sides of the border. Because all liquor does is get people drunk.
Yeah, so many of our industries are intertwined. Is your message getting through to the White House?
We've been working with the administration very, very hard to register and let it resonate the great impact the provincial bans have had. Unfortunately, look, a lot of octane in the air, political octane, but this was a violation of USMCA. But the province leaders felt like that they had to do this back in March 2025, and the pain has been significant on the American distilled spirits industry, on jobs, small family-owned craft distillers.
And how many of those family-owned distillers actually voted for Taco Tuesday? How many of them checked the box beside his name? How many of them actually caused this problem that we're in right now? The way I see it, you and your distillers are not taking responsibility for what's going on right now because you're supporting it. Playing the fucking victim when your administration is the one that started all of this. I can't wait for the liquor to be back on the shelves and nobody to buy it. Then who are you going to fucking blame?
So, of course, we've been advocating strongly with the administration that, that we need to get back on the shelves, and the administration needs to work closely with our Canadian partners. Politics come and go, but Americans and Canadians are a big family and brothers and sisters.
No, we're not. Not anymore, at least. You can go fuck yourself, Chris. It's like, seriously.
And it may take time for Canadian consumers to gravitate back to American spirits. But we are hopeful that in the next 2 days, a deal with details will be announced in quick order.
Yeah, and you raise a good point. Even if American alcohol was back, there's no guarantee that Canadians are going to buy it, at least to the extent that they were before all of this started.
Yeah, strong emotions, and I've been a recipient of it.
And you're a recipient of it again. Maybe this asshole watches my videos, I don't know. But he still doesn't get the point that everything that comes out of his mouth is just causing more damage to his liquor industry. I mean, after hearing this guy talk about how, Canada's hurting their industry, like it's our fault, does he really think that's going to make Canadians who used to buy his liquor that don't want to buy it anymore? Does he really think his speech is going to make us change our mind? I mean, we're smarter than that. We have a better education system. We can think for ourselves, and we don't follow the rhetoric of one idiot at the White House. It's time for you to take some responsibility for what you voted for.
And, I had the privilege of representing Canadian distilled spirits products. I started my career representing Canadian Club out of Windsor, Canada. And it was always a privilege. It's such a great brand. And,
aw, that's such a touching story. It's so heartwarming. Working for a Canadian Club makes you feel like you're connected to Canada. Someone else did that too. I can't remember. They said that they grew up across the river from Windsor and they felt like they were Canadian. Shit, who was it? Oh, it was the CEO from Las Vegas, the CEO of that hotel. Basically said that he has a connection to Canada because he lived across the river and used to go to, Windsor. We don't want to hear these stupid stories. So, Chris, if you're actually watching this video, nobody in Canada gives a shit if you actually work for Canadian Club. It's not going to give you any brownie points. I'll tell you that.
So our industry on both sides of the border, there's no light between the Canadian and American spirits industry. We just want to get back to normal relations to protect the Canadian and American hospitality economy.
We're fine on our own, to be honest. We can get liquor from anywhere. I mean, the liquor in the United States, it's not that good. The thing you don't realize is that Canadians have options. Our shelves are not empty, and we're not begging for your alcohol. I mean, do these shelves look like they're empty to you? Does it look like Canadians don't have any choice but to wait for your alcohol to come back on the shelves? Does it look like the United States has to be the savior of our liquor industry because our shelves are so bare? We don't need your protection. We're perfectly fine on our own.
Have you spoken with the premiers of British Columbia, David Eby, or the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford? Two premiers who have really dug in their heels on this issue. Have you chatted with them at all?
We've worked with our Canadian counterparts to do that, obviously. And again, it's a broader national politics, and we appreciate and understand that. We respect the Canadian government leaders, but the pain of a 50% tariff that this would inflict on the Canadian economy and Canadian distilled spirits industry would be significant.
This guy's trying to teach us on how much damage it's going to cause. I mean, we're fully aware of it. We're living through it right now. And one thing I have noticed, like, what is this, like, third round of, like, tariff threats or fourth round? I've lost track. But one thing I have noticed this time is that Canadians, they're not taking this shit anymore. Because the sentiment I'm seeing online is that people are saying, you know what, go do whatever the fuck you want. We're just not going to deal with you anymore. In the 15 months that I've had my channel, I've never seen this many people pissed off at the U.S. liquor industry. And we don't want the liquor back on the shelves.
And the U.S. is its biggest market, represents 93% of the market. So we want to avoid that. So hopefully the provincial leaders not only participates and supports the Prime Minister in getting a deal done, putting American spirits back on the shelves, but putting them back on the shelves as they were before March 2025. And then, let the brands work hard to try to earn Canadian consumers back to enjoy great American whiskey products again.
Chris Swonger is the president and CEO of the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States. Chris, really appreciate your time with us today.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, fuck off, Chris. That's all I really got to say. You see, he wants everything to go back to normal, like the bottles on the shelves and Canadians buying their liquor, just kind of like nothing happened. But so much has happened between March 2025 and now. And his interview that I just showed you is not helping. I mean, it didn't help for me. It just made me want to boycott U.S. liquor more. But what really bothers me is that, yes, there is a possibility the liquor is going to be back on the shelves, like, very soon. And all of these distillers, they're going to call it a victory. They're going to say Canadians caved. And they're going to expect that we're going to be buying their alcohol. This is where we can make our stand. And this is where all of us can be like these Canadians here. Well, maybe not the one on the bottom right. She can go have her drink with, like, Chris. But these Canadians here have made their decision that even if the alcohol's on the shelves, they're not going to buy it. And it's all about principles. We don't care if it's like a good liquor. I mean, we can get good liquor anywhere. But even if it was the best one in the world, it's not about the liquor itself. It's about the people who made it. So, Chris, I do have to thank you for one thing. This interview that you just done has refilled my boycott for your U.S. liquor. And your U.S. liquor is available to me here in Malaysia, but I'm never going to touch it again. So I really do appreciate you giving me, as well as my viewers, a reminder on why we're never going to buy your alcohol. Closing out this video, I would like to thank Wivy from our Discord server for taking this photo from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. I'm not going to lie, I'm really looking forward to being back home along the water. So I want to thank you, Wivy, for posting this photo in the Discord server. And speaking of my trip back home to Vancouver, I just want to give everybody a heads up that the next few videos, probably about 3 or 4 of them, are going to be pre-recorded. And Wayne has helped me out with one of them with another Wayne Explains video. So just giving everyone a heads up that the next few videos might not be up to date when it comes to like breaking news and current events. We don't leave until the weekend, but we got a lot to do before we leave. So I want to make sure that you still have a video to be able to view while I'm in transit back to Canada. But I'm not going to lie, time is going by so damn slow right now. But I am looking forward to being back home. So I'll keep everybody posted once I'm back in Canada. Alright everyone, that's it for this video. I hope you got some value out of it, and if you did, consider checking out my Substack page or my Buy Me Coffee page if you want to support the work that I do. Thanks everyone, I'll see everyone in the next video.